Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video, we're going to be using the new tool that I got that I shared with you yesterday. It's going to be interesting. I'm still trying to get used to it, so we're just going to hop on in, okay? I realize you do need a bigger piece of paper. That's going to be my first lesson to share with y'all because you really want to get it locked in because even with it being pressed in on two spots, um it still wants to like move sometimes, so you get like irregular circles. They're not perfectly, so you want to probably unfortunately have to get something like a 8x8 piece of paper, anything that's like six, I would say 6x6, a bigger square to put in. I would hate to waste a lot of a 12 by 12 paper, but you can see here, like I'm trying to get it into a spot where I can at least get like a little small circle. And that one actually did pretty good, but it's still like cut a little bit weird in the center. It's hard to explain, but if you have one like this, leave comments down below. Like how did you find using it, and do you have any tips or tricks? I'm very interested in still using it. I'm not gonna like just put it to the side because there's a lot of times where I want like a big half circle of something, and I don't want to pull out my big Gemini. So this tool I think will help with that. And in that instance, I would probably obviously use a big 12 by 12 because I would use the outer ring to create just a big huge circle that I could then cut in half and, have that be part of the layout. Maybe that'll be another project, but I'm just giving you what I experienced trying to use these smaller pieces and get like different size circles out of it. It was a little tricky, okay? I ain't gonna lie. It was just a little tricky. Plus, it likes to move on me. So, it's one of those things. It's probably gonna just take some getting used to. Like I said, I don't hate it, but I just got to get used to it. This is like the second time using it at this point because I showed you in the other video, and then, I just hopped in making this for today, and I just wanted to really see how cool, because I love the fact that it makes the like, sort of like the frame circle, so you get the solid and the frame if you use both at the same time. And I love that because that's what gives that interest to me. So we're just going to keep cutting out a few things, and you can see there it was kind of moving. It was aggravating me, I'm gonna tell you that much. But I kept going because I was like, you know what, all I need is just a few more and I can get it, and then we can start putting this layout together. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm trying to figure out the place where I'm gonna have the most like pressure from, because on that blue part there's like points that lock into the paper to keep it from going all over the place on you. Okay, and if you don't put it in the right spot, that's when the paper starts to shift. Okay, so what I would do is, you got a big piece, I would cut as many circles out of it as you can. Do you know what I mean? So start with the smaller circle and then move your the blades, and while it's still locked in, cut your next size circle. Like hindsight being 2020, that's probably what I should have done. Just like put the full 12 by 12 in and just cut all the sizes. All the sizes, all the sizes. Oh, I'll have to try that and see how that works. Okay, so I think we're coming to the end because I wanted just another piece. I think I'm cutting out the inside circle here, and then, yeah, and then we're gonna put that off to the side, and I think that is it. I'm trying to think if I cut any more out. I think I want to say about this point, I was kind of like, okay, if I don't have enough, then I just don't have enough. And it'll be all right. It'll be all right. So what I'm doing is whenever I take them out, because sometimes it doesn't cut all the way through, I'm just trying to like kind of trim it. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I just need a few more pieces. And what I'll do is I'll just cut them using my 3-inch punch. So now comes the somewhat annoying part, because like you have a vision in your head and you know what you want it to look like, and it's not fully coming together exactly the way that you want it to. So it's like, ooh. But I decided I wanted to mat the photos on the red circle, the polka dot, the red and white. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that, because I know the photo itself is 3 inches, right? So I was like, okay, let me just put the small piece in, and all I need is that inside circle to be like 3.5. So I did 3.5, and I think I did another frame. And let's see. Yeah, I'm cutting it out now. Sorry. It's always off camera because I'm trying to hold it up close to me so I can see the lines. And see, so that other frame that's in there, I didn't bother with. I'm just trying to make sure my photo is going to fit well on there. And about here, I have a little bit of a panic because I'm like, where is my photo? Because it was there and now it's not. Guess what, guys? It was underneath. It was underneath the tool. I'm like, I'm a tool. That's what that story is. I'm like, okay, let me keep adding some things down because I know I'm recording. And I'm like, okay, step one, we got to go find this photo, because I'm like, where did the photo go? Like, this is crazy. So hold on. It's probably not even going to seem like a blip to you, but I found it. Like I said, it was underneath the tool that I was using to make the circles. How funny. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the photos to the circles, so that way that part's done, and then we can start figuring out how this is all going to lay down. And my subject today is my lovely niece. And it's so funny because she posted for photos, I think it was on TikTok or something like that. And I had to message her. I'm like, send me those photos. And it was perfect. That's why I love this Simple Stories collection as well, because they're color themes. You know what I mean? It's like the whole rainbow. So if you have somebody in a blue shirt, you have all these blue colored elements that you can put to it, and you get a very it's not completely monochromatic, but it's monochromatic, I guess. Only because I say that because I'm using brown for the background, you know, for the wood grain. But it just gives you so much that you can play with. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm kind of liking this. So we're going to go ahead and start laying things down. And I'm trying to do it while keeping everything on the page, because I don't have my press and seal right available, and I couldn't take a picture of it because I'm recording. Even though I do have my phone to the side, but I don't like to bring my phone into the camera view. But normally if I'm by myself just crafting, then yes, I would just take a picture of it so I could remember how I kind of had things laid out, and then go from there. Yeah. And some of the stuff we move around, we kind of figure it out. You know what I mean? We keep adjusting. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So we're going to keep laying down. I always use the tape and then a little bit of glue. Because for me, it's like, no, yeah, this is it. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to pick it up and move it again. If you are unsure, then just use your tape, because the tape will be a little bit easier to pick up. Now, if you're using the ATG gun, yeah, use glue, because you're going to want to put glue where the ATG tape is. That'll give you a few seconds to change your mind. Other than that, ATG, I usually find once it's down, it's down. It's like, forget about it. So I like to use the wet glue with my tape so that way it just buys me a few minutes, you know. And yes, there's down at the bottom and at the top, there are a few circles that are hanging off, and we're going to trim those so it looks like it's continuing technically past the edge, you know what I mean? And then I'm putting foam behind the photos and let the photos pop up on top of our collection here. Okay, so now we have all the fun parts, right? The decorations. So I'm pulling out all the red chipboard, every piece of it, because every piece of it I can use. And then we're going to also pick, I think instead of using the small paper love, we're going to use the foam love, because that's a little bit bigger and it gives it a little bit more of a punch. Like that, everything was looking tiny right there. And then I'm laying out, of course, the butterflies, because I got to have butterflies. And then, yeah, I'm going to pull that to the side, and then I'm going to take the love off, and then, oh no, I do tend to cut it out first. Yeah. Yep. I like it better already, because it just gives it, the foam gives it that added dimension, so it stands out a little bit more, and it's perfect. Okay. And then I have some hearts that I took off of there. So I'm going to start gluing down some of these butterflies real quick. And then also add a few of these hearts. And then with my butterflies, and I highly suggest that if you want to do it to where the wings kind of can be fluffed up, just glue right down the center, okay? As down the center as you can. And then the wings will flatten if you put it into a sleeve. And if you're taking it out of a sleeve or putting it in a shadow box, you can fluff the butterfly wings so it looks more dimensional. So for this chipboard piece, I'm going to put up here on the upper right. Let's get the backing off, add a little bit of glue, and then put our photo down. And I just have a clear block on top of it to give it that adhesion. And then I'll do the same thing with this one. And then I'm holding it there for a little bit because I just wanted the block to kind of sit a little bit longer on the other one. And then, of course, we put it on top. And then I have another chipboard piece that I had taken out that I wanted to use. So I'm going to put that down here. And then inside the sticker book, of course, each color has its own sticker sheet. And there's a bunch of circle stickers. And so I'm like, well, I got to add them to my circles. So there's one that said love. There's this one I put down here. And I think there's 3 more. There's like 5 total. And again, I'm using them all. It'll be all right. Just to add, you know, just a little bit of something to mix in. And then there was this one word here. So up at the top on the chipboard, there's beauty. This one says remember. And then, of course, we have the you so much underneath the love. So that's 3 places where I have words. And then I decided, you know what? I'm going to grab my white gel pen and I'm going to give the butterflies a little trail. And I'm going to tell you, when I first started doing the white, it was kind of not dry, but it just wasn't giving me very vibrant. So I did wind up having to do the dash lines more than once. I could have used black, but I wanted it to kind of stand out a little bit, you know. And then if I were to do journaling, I would do the journaling in the white gel. And I think the journaling would fit right in that open circle. So it all would tie together right in the center, you know? And so for me, I'm going to use this as a challenge for Amy's for My Little Scrapbook Store's National Scrapbook Day challenges. Our thing was the scrap lift, and I was watching Shayla's video. I believe it was Shayla, one of the guest design team members, and she had circles, like all different like shapes of circles. It wasn't like designed like mine, but it was the circles that I wanted to scrap lift. So I think that this would work great for that challenge. And then all I'll have to do is take my pictures and add it to the picture for Amy, the design team member, and that would go for her challenge. So if you're familiar with me from My Little Scrapbook Store and you saw our hop over the weekend, then it could be as simple as you see someone's layout and you want to take that element, whatever element from it, to scrap lift. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a literal copycat of what they did. You're taking inspiration, just like we normally do from sketches and stuff like that. So I hope this is something that can help if you had any questions about the challenges that we have been doing from the weekend. I hope to do a few more videos because the challenges I thought were really interesting and fun. So just keep an eye out. I'm sure I'll have more videos showing different challenges along the way. And that's our final project. After the splatters, I'm really loving it. And I love this wood grain. This wood grain paper is actually from Echo Park. It's thin, but it's a nice paper. All right, you guys. So I enjoyed this tool. I'm going to keep playing with it. I'm going to figure it out. And I used my punch. I'm not going to lie. So I used both, and there's no reason why you can't. You know what I mean? And you get such a beautiful layout. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Please consider hitting that like, subscribe, and share button. And like I said, if you have a tool like this or this specific tool and you have any tips or tricks, just leave them down in the comments below for me. I so appreciate it. Thanks, you guys, and I hope you have a great day.